placement of adverts and services. NTA Channel 11 Asaba is back. Bigger NTA Asaba on StarTimes Channel 104 and NTA Asaba Live on YouTube and Facebook. NTA Asaba, adding value to society.
Staying healthy is our top priority. We are committed to the health and well-being of our mothers and babies from conception to delivery.
Government has ensured that no child under 5 should have difficulty in accessing healthcare. So also any pregnant woman from the day she's pregnant till she delivers by normal delivery or even by operation, it is free to the patient, and government of Delta State pay for it. So far we have registered close to 2 million children and maternal people, persons, mother and children, up to almost 2 million into this scheme. This is the more agenda. The more agenda means more good health for Delta.
This message is powered by Nta Asaba in conjunction with the Delta State government. Nta Asaba, adding value to society.
Nta Asaba, adding value to society.
Tonight on the news, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Delta State Command, arrests 322 suspects. Universal Basic Education Commission (UBEC) collaborates with Korea International Cooperation Agency on smart education and digital literacy. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on our news tonight. I am Susan Esu with details of the news. Delta State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency says it has arrested 322 persons suspected to be dealing in illicit drugs and convicted 76 of them between January and March this year. The state commandant of the agency, Abubakar Wada, made this known in the first quarter report of the agency in Ogwashuku. Chinyere Okoli has details of this report.
Abubakar Wada, while reeling out his achievement, explained that out of the 322 suspects arrested, 248 were males, while 74 of the suspects were females. He noted that the command seized 1.3328 tons and 42.54 liters of drug exhibits and destroyed 50 hectares of cannabis farm. The commander pointed out that within the time of the report, the agency secured 76 convictions from the previous arrest made by the command. In addition to the command, 5 were rehabilitated.
When you put your mind to an activity, you will succeed. That's just based on the experiences we have. And this records we were able to achieve really shows how the effort we are putting into the job.
The command also dismantled drug trafficking network to include the seizure of truck of cannabis. He said the truck was impounded following a tip-off few months ago. He stated that the owners of the goods, worth 25 million naira, abandoned it and fled at the time of arrest in Abi. The command also hinted on the new trend where event managers provide drugs for guests as part of their jobs to make events memorable. They vowed to go after them. Commander Wada called on residents of Delta State to support the fight against drug abuse and trafficking, emphasizing that community participation remains key to ending the scourge. In Ogwashuku, I'm Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
In a major step towards transforming Nigeria's educational landscape through the use of technology, the Universal Basic Education Commission (UBEC), in partnership with the Korea International Cooperation Agency, has organized an international conference on smart education and digital literacy. The goal is to enhance access quality and inclusivity in education through innovative digital solutions.
Amidst pressing challenges such as poverty, insecurity, climate-related disruptions, and high rate of learning, technology is emerging as a powerful tool to turn adversity into opportunity for inclusive growth in Nigeria. The Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Alausa, emphasizes that emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence and mobile learning, can be strategically leveraged to transform learning experiences, especially at the foundational level.
We affirm a shared commitment to building an inclusive, digitally empowered educational system that can deliver on the promise of the new growth agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
We have established smart schools in each of all the states in Nigeria. We have built more than 100 effective schools using blended learning and multimedia education.
Yes, it's not the same number of students, but on the average, the US smart schools outperform the traditional schools.
As Nigeria deepens its commitment to digital transformation in education, the partnership between UBEC and KOICA serves as a shining example of how international collaboration can fuel educational innovation and significantly improve learning outcomes for students across the country.
The federal government has inaugurated a reform committee to undertake a comprehensive overhaul of the National Youth Service Corps scheme. Minister of Youth Development Ayodele Olawande inaugurated the committee in Abuja. Olainka Ojo reports.
The aim is to restructure and reposition the scheme to enhance its relevance and national impact to align with Nigeria's developmental priorities and evolving aspirations of young people. According to Minister of Youth Development Ayodele Olawande, the goal is to make the NYSC more secure, innovative and impactful, offering young people better opportunities in skills acquisition, entrepreneurship, civic education and career development in tune with current global realities.
To recommend legal policy and institutional reform for the NYSC Act and operational guidelines. Propose framework for improvement, funding, monitoring and evaluations.
The committee is also tasked with the reviewing of existing policy and legal framework guiding the NYSC. Minister of Education Olatunji Alausa and the Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination Hadiza Bala Usman emphasized the importance of integrating technical and vocational education into the scheme to bridge skills gap and support economic growth.
Incorporating teachers' corps into NYSC 2 years optional, I think it's something we should consider. Obviously, the committee will act and see if it's something that is doable. They have to look at the financing, the budgeting, and all those things.
But beyond that unification, it must turn into a workforce pipeline, a national workforce pipeline for the country. Mr. President has made it clear that we need to have homegrown solutions for our homegrown problems.
The committee is expected to submit its report within 4 to 6 weeks. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
If you are just joining us, this is Nta Asaba, Channel 11, the station that adds value to society. In the first segment of the news, we told you that the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Delta State Command, has arrested 322 suspects. We'll pause here for some messages to stay as the news continues shortly.
Delta State is set for a media revolution. Delta Broadcast Media Organization, in conjunction with the Delta State Ministry of Information, presents Delta Broadcast Media Conference 2025. Theme: Broadcast Media, the pathway to unlocking Delta's possibilities. Date: 16th of May 2025. Venue: Unity Hall, Government House, Asaba. Time: 10 a.m. Guest speakers: Rufai Oseni, Maokbe Ogun, Yusuf, Samuel Fejoku, Peter Moche. There'll be high-level panel discussions with seasoned experts in the broadcast media industry. Special guest of honor, His Excellency, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori, Governor of Delta State. Guest of honor, Charles Anyabu, Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Delta State. Convener, Ruki Onoro. For inquiries, call 0706-083-8949 or 0706-701-8400. Delta Broadcast Media Conference 2025, powered by Delta State Government and Chrysler Development Limited. Supported by DBS, NTA, Trend FM, Rise FM, Mega FM, Crown and Oko FM, Eku FM, Quest FM and TV, Sleek FM, Bridge Radio, NMDPRA, Olili Food, and Dominion Pearl Home.
NTA Television College Jaws, you will dive into exhilarating hands that will fuel your passion in education and propel your career to new heights. We don't just teach, we craft the next generation of media leaders. Explore our diverse offering, understanding the personnel matters and issues in the public service, basic development communication, financial reporting under IPSAS, and interpretation of public sector accounting standard IPSAS, audit, internal check and control management, video camera maintenance, new technologies, optics, fiber, IP technologies, automation, storage management, and wireless technology. Challenges and opportunities in the secretarial profession in the digital age. Digital marketing, basic drama, online reporting, understanding the provisions of the revised public service, audio engineering operations and maintenance, camera operations, and intermediate drama. Mark your calendar. The second quarter of 2025 is your launch pad. This is your moment to seize the future. Announcer Management.
Welcome back, and now to the rest of our stories. Local intelligence is a veritable tool to combating crime, criminality, and insecurity in Nigeria. The Asaba of Asaba, His Royal Majesty Professor Epiphany Azinge, disclosed this when he played host to Senior Course 47 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, in Asaba. Helen Dunku reports.
The Asaba opines that the role of traditional rulers in communities cannot be swept under the carpet in the discourse of security. Grassroots intelligence is an internal security mechanism gotten from the locals, hence the need for a strong synergy between the traditional institution and the military in order to carry out effective security in the country. His Royal Majesty read out some of the measures he embarked on in combating crime in his domain recently.
But it's not denying the fact that all over Nigeria, it's not denying the fact that the same thing can happen. Whether it has to do with terrorists, whether it has to do with the ravages of Boko Haram, well, any part of Nigeria, unless you have that local intelligence, I dare say that not much can be achieved. We agreed on our goal together with the Commissioner of Police in Asaba to set up the Asaba Community Police / Police Community. Believing that the local intelligence will help, we decided to form that committee. I believe the same ought to be applicable to the armed forces people, especially in war ravaged areas or theaters of conflict, as the case may be. For us in Asaba, we always say that part of the peace we enjoy that makes Asaba one of the most peaceful state capitals in Nigeria is because of the 63 Brigade and the marvelous work they are doing, being so supportive of the other security agencies and helping us if the need arises.
The AGO advised the students to carry out their duties in all diligence and sense of humanity.
Mainstream yourself, get involved with the locals, reach out to the traditional rulers, seek their support as the case may be. Because people complain so much about the treatment, quote unquote, they derive or they get when they are passing through those areas. For me, the major challenge is that those people are not your opponents or your enemies. Treat them as friends. They are locals. You will benefit more from exchanges with them rather than being confrontational, as the case may be. I believe that is also a message to take away.
Earlier, leader of the Team 7 Senior Course 47 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Brigadier General Al-Hassan Brema, said the participants are on a tour of states to study security at the grassroots level with the theme Harnessing Grassroots Intelligence for Enhanced Internal Security. In Asaba, Helen Dunku, NTA News. In February this year, a woman was allegedly killed by her husband and another man was beheaded in the middle of the night. These cases represent just a fraction of violent crimes occurring across Nigeria. Such tragedies create profound trauma not only for direct victims but also for family members. How do they manage their mental health? Aunli Okolo met with a victim in Benin, and here is what she came back with.
When violent crimes occur, calls for justice dominate the conversation.
We need justice! We need justice! We need
Justice, fair hearing, unbiased judgment, these are some of the demands we typically hear from those who experience such trauma.
The very first thing to do is to get the matter reported to the police. At the conclusion of the investigation, the suspect is charged to court, then is detained by the court while the file is forwarded to the DPP for the DPP's advice. And as soon as that is done, the matter is heard, by the required courts.
Consider the case of Success Izeko, allegedly murdered by her husband. While her family awaits investigation and legal proceedings, they struggle with grief that extends far beyond the courtroom.
According to lawyer, they say the file never reached DPP office. So from DPP office, now the file go reach court as a murder case. Not easy at all because they lost it too much. She understand me. Tomorrow, my only sister will be say, no easy. I just want me she just get this justice. You understand me? So because they pay for debt too much.
But does legal justice provide the emotional closure needed to move forward? Or are these calls for justice sometimes covering deeper needs for psychological support from people who do not know how to help themselves?
It's good to seek for justice, but sometimes it takes longer. I mean, in a lot of instances, it doesn't provide the healing that we want. I advise people go for healing first. Maintain your sanity first. Work on yourself first, because that's where the healing comes. We must look for coping strategies to go for challenges, whether victims of rape, victims of marital abuse, victims of catastrophic events. We can go for healing, and that's where psychotherapy comes in. And if this thing becomes so bad, we can give medications as psychiatrists.
As we observe Stress Awareness Month, experts say there's an urgent need to recognize trauma from violent crime as a significant stress trigger, one that requires specialized support beyond the justice system.
This is Nta Asaba News at 7. You can watch this news